Let's head down to Atlanta now and welcome in Jim Palmer, who will work the game tonight with Gary Thorne. And Jim, Buck Showalter talked about there are several things he needs to work on, and he knows what they are. I'm not sure what they are because Buck didn't allude to that, but there's one thing that's obvious. Brian Matusz in 2011 is not the same pitcher who finished 2010.
Oh, no, and he wasn't the same pitcher at the beginning of last year as that he was in his last seven or eight decisions, where he went 7-1 with an ERA of about 2.16 runs a game. Very tough start for him this year. Supposedly he worked very hard on his off-season conditioning. Got hurt in spring training, only had about 13 innings in spring training, 15 in his rehab. So, again, 28 innings. You'd be about 2/3 of the way in the old days back through spring training. So it looked to me he was tired last night. It looks to me that his weight is down. Looks to me that his pitches aren't very sharp. And I ran into Brady Anderson after the game, and he said, well, Brian had shown me pictures and tape of where he threw 94 to 97. Well, I don't know what Kool-Aid they're drinking, but I've never seen that. I mean, he's a finesse guy, 89 to 91, that has to use all his pitches and stay out of the middle of the plate. And he's got to. I don't think he has to throw that much harder. I just think he has to be able to throw the ball through the hitter to the catcher. Rick Dempsey certainly can tell you about that, and be able to finish his pitches and make better pitches. And again, too many mistakes in pretty much all the games. He got away because he faced Seattle and Oakland early on, so he could change speeds. They're not very good hitting ball clubs, but the real deal is when you face the good teams, and they really did a number on him. So it's the best thing for him, and it's the best thing for the Orioles.
Jimmy, I want to ask you a mechanical question about pitching, too, because we've all seen Jamie Moyer. And, Jamie Moyer couldn't bruise you if he threw you your best fastball in the middle of his career. But, there is something to hiding the ball, and that's something that Jamie Moyer does very well because hitters don't get a chance to see it. Could this be a problem with Brian Matusz, that he's just not hiding the ball as well as he did when he first came up?
Well, that's it's a very astute question. And, of course, you had that vision for, 24 years of whether, a hitter can see the ball just by catching pitchers. And, McNally hit the ball very well. Cuellar hit it. Of course, he had great change speed. Mike Flanagan had the shoulder turn. You didn't catch Eric Bedard, but Bedard, every hitter you talk to says you hardly ever saw the ball. And then, of course, he could throw 93 to 95 with a great curveball. They tried to work with Brian Matusz to make a little bit different of a turn because he stayed too open. He would throw across his body, and then his front shoulder would fly, so you'd see the ball a little bit better. And again, I don't think he finished his pitches. So he's going to go down. He's going to make those adjustments. You can't do it at this level. His next start would have been in Texas. We know what that is. Not only can they hit, it's also a great park to hit in. So the best thing, again, and I'll reiterate, for him and for the ball club, because they got to start pitching better if they're going to win ball games, and hopefully that'll be the case here tonight when Guthrie takes on one of the best pitchers in the National League.